US has cut interest rates.
First time in 4 years. An outsized half a percentage point reduction takes the official rate around 5%. Markets now predicting it will be at 4% within a year.
But you're not so sure.
No, but who cares what I think? If I knew what the markets were doing, I'd be on my super yacht.
Everybody look at me 'cause I'm sailing on a boat.
But this guy does know what he's talking about.
Who's that?
Scott Kleinman runs Wall Street financial giant Apollo Global. He's a serious player in control of $1 trillion.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Bit like you.
Kleinman reckons the US Federal Reserve could end up having to jack up rates again and quickly because inflation around the world is far from under control. He says the evidence is right in front of our noses in the inflated housing market.
You like these doors?
I love them.
Sorry, we're taking all the doors with us.
And a buoyant job sector.
50,000 Australians found jobs alone in August.
I don't know where these jobs are coming from. Everyone's broke.
You have to turn it on, not just make the noise.
Car repossession, debt collection.
I think I want my money back.
Kleinman reckons it won't be long for prices to rise when rates are lowered. And it's always harder to put the inflation genie back in the bottle for the second time.
Wow! Does it feel good to be out of there?
He also says we shouldn't be celebrating an American rate cut because it's a sign the US Fed is predicting the country sliding towards recession.
Make it stop.
No,
Make it stop.
no,
Let's make it stop.
And if you lose your job, it doesn't matter whether the official rate is 5% or 1%, you're going to lose your house.
You ain't got no money.
Yeah, not many are predicting anything that extreme.
He is a little bit chicken little on this one, but there's no doubt the market's exhibiting what former US Reserve head Alan Greenspan called irrational exuberance. Investors are fat, dumb and happy, but for no good reason.
That dog has a puffy tail.
Global stock markets are hitting record highs at a time when world economies are sputtering, and inflation means many families are struggling to put food on the table.
They're eating the dogs.
So you don't think Michelle Bullock will follow America's lead?
No, and neither do our politicians. And as we all know, Anthony Albanese is an astute economic observer.
I think it's 5.4. Sorry, I'm not sure what it is.
The reason the Reserve Bank of Australia is unlikely to follow the US is less to do with our own inflation problems or flagging economy, and more to do with an economic principle known as reversion to mean.
Bueller.
Reversion to mean is a fancy way of saying that eventually every financial measure will return to its long-term average. Have a look at this chart. It shows official rates over the past 30-odd years in the US. Before Monday's cut, the US rate of 5.5% was the highest in 23 years. You had to go back to 2001 to find rates at that level. The current situation in the US is a genuine statistical aberration. That's not the case in Australia. Over the same period back to 2001 here, our official rates were regularly over the current 4.35%. And they were well above that rate for the entire 10 years before that. So reversion to mean down under could mean this is as good as it gets.
That doesn't sound right.
No.
I'm Ben Harvey.
Class dismissed.